3 pounds since yesterday.
Good job. Keep up the good work.
Thomas, I'm down another 4 pounds since yesterday.
That's incredible. And you haven't changed anything you're eating. That formula is really working.
It's so exciting.
If every diet you have tried has always ended in failure, fear not. Because as impossible as it sounds, researchers from Stanford University have discovered a bizarre tea hack that lets you burn fat without dieting or working out. In fact, it's been proven to dissolve fat, purify your body of toxins, and tone your figure faster than you ever thought possible. This powerful morning tea hack takes just seconds to perform and instantly laser targets the fat from your belly, face, arms, thighs, and neck, melting it away like a snowflake in the midday sun. And scientists all agree that the more you use this 5-second tea hack, the more fat you will burn, even from those stubborn areas that seemed immune before. It works no matter what you have tried in the past and requires no change to your diet or any type of exercise routine. And because this simple tea hack targets the real root cause of your stubborn weight gain, once it's gone for good. So you'll be able to enjoy all your favorite foods like pizza, pasta, bread, chocolate, candy, and ice cream whenever you want without fear or guilt and without gaining a single pound like all the skinny people you know do too. Now, I understand if you're feeling skeptical right now. In fact, due to all the blatant lies and misinformation that's running rampant in the health and weight loss world, you should be skeptical. But all I can say is that if you're ready to hear the truth about weight loss, backed by undeniable scientifically proven research that what you're about to discover works, then you've come to the right place. Because in the next 3 minutes and 12 seconds, you'll discover why everything you thought you knew about weight and fat loss is one big lie. You'll be shocked and angry when you discover the real root cause of your rapid weight gain and slow metabolism and how you can reignite it so you can eat whatever you want while getting into the best shape of your life. And despite what you've been told before, the secret to fast, permanent weight loss has nothing to do with your diet, exercise, cutting carbs, or any of the other useless weight loss gimmicks you've heard about before. Instead, it all comes down to this incredibly powerful 5-second tea hack that has helped over 130,000 men and women from around the world incinerate that stubborn fat from their belly, arms, face, and thighs from as little as 5 pounds to an incredible 260 pounds faster than they ever thought possible. This simple morning ritual works for men and women from 18 to 80, regardless of how much weight you have to lose or how much you have struggled with diets in the past. Best of all, it works no matter what kind of tea you like, whether it be green tea, English tea, hot tea, cold tea, iced tea, or herbal tea, and however you like it, made at home or from your favorite cafe. This powerful 5-second tea hack targets the real root cause of your stubborn weight gain and effortlessly burns off even the most stubborn fat deposits. It's astonishingly simple to do and unlike anything you have seen before. And that's why I'm so excited to share it with you here today. And like I said, it has nothing to do with calorie counting, intermittent fasting, doing workouts you hate, depriving yourself of carbs and sugar, or any other of the latest dieting fads you might have seen. Instead, it all comes down to this: a dangerous fat-storing chemical floating through your veins right now that we are all exposed to every day. Scientists have named these chemicals obesogens because once we are exposed to them, they force our body to store fat and expand fat cells, no matter how hard we diet or how much exercise we do. I'll show you all of the peer-reviewed scientific studies behind this discovery in just a moment, and why doctors now suspect this is the real root cause behind America's obesity epidemic. What's more, I'll show you the exact step-by-step method you can use every day with your morning tea that will not only incinerate fat, but also leave your skin glowing, support a healthy heart, and skyrocket your confidence with an envious new physique. But it's absolutely crucial that you watch this video right to the end, because once you see those numbers drop on the scale in just days from now, I know you will look back and realize that this was the presentation that changed your life forever. Now is the time to cut loose from the chains of being fat once and for all. Are you ready? Hi, my name's William Shaw. I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, or social media influencer. Instead, I'm a 46-year-old firefighter, father of 2 wonderful kids, and I live with my amazing wife, Emily, in Columbus, Ohio. In 2013, I was part of a team called to a small blaze which quickly turned into a very dangerous and frightening full-on brush fire that left many of my colleagues badly injured, some critically. I tell you this because I know what it's like to lose control. Just like a small fire can turn into a deadly situation in the blink of an eye, your body can turn against you and start threatening your health and happiness. And that's what happened to my wife and me, and probably you too. It all started over 20 years ago. We were high school sweethearts and both extremely athletic. Like most young people, we took our health for granted, enjoying life and everything that came with it. Sure, we were young, but we knew we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. So at just 22, we decided to marry. Then at 27, Emily fell pregnant with our son Jacob. During her pregnancy, she put on around 30 pounds, which after he was born came off faster than it went on. A few meals skipped, some steady cardio, and just like that, it was gone. 8 years later, she fell pregnant with our second, Annabelle. And this time, she gained a lot more weight, 60 pounds to be exact. She had become obese with a BMI of over 38, and our family doctor confirmed what we already suspected. Emily had to lose weight or possibly suffer serious health issues or worse. But this time it was different. What worked for her before stopped working, and the fat wouldn't budge. I mean, she tried everything, and we spent thousands. Keto, paleo, Atkins, vegetarian, vegan, juicing, fasting, hypnosis, yoga, Zumba, and even acupuncture. You name it, she's tried it. Heck, we even bought her a stepper machine, but her weight was too much and it just brought more pain to her knees and back. Sure, some of them worked for a while, but the problem was that like so many others, Emily couldn't stick to any of them, even though her life was on the line. And with every failure, she turned to comfort foods, Ben & Jerry's, chocolate, pizza, and the vicious cycle continued, leaving her racked with guilt and angry with herself for giving in. We were never intimate anymore, and to be honest, our marriage was hanging by a thread. There was no fun or excitement like the old times, just tension and misery from both sides. The years went by, but nothing changed. Instead of losing weight, she was now 70 pounds heavier and in chronic pain all the time. She got dressed in private, tried to hide her figure with huge tent-like shawls, and avoided mirrors like the plague. Her self-esteem collapsed, and our relationship suffered badly. We rarely saw friends anymore and never ate out for fear of judgment. Emily used to comment on all the sexy toned women she saw. Why can't I be skinny and toned like all the other women that eat whatever they want? Look at me, she screamed, grabbing the fat around her belly. You never look at me the way you used to. And although I tried telling her she was wrong, I knew deep down that she wasn't. You see, I know what you're going through because I saw Emily live this nightmare every day. And then it happened. Just when I thought we had hit rock bottom, things got a whole lot worse. Emily was outside with the kids when I heard Jacob scream, "Dad, help!" I ran to the door and that's when I saw Emily. Her lifeless body slumped in a heap on the grass. The weight had taken its toll and she had blacked out while trying to play ball with the kids. Her face was white as a sheet and I knew she didn't have much time. Luckily, I knew exactly what to do and immediately started CPR. To my relief, the color gradually returned to her face and the glaze lifted from her eyes. "What happened?" she mumbled. "It's okay, just relax," I said as I called for an ambulance. "You're gonna be fine." Research shows that overweight men are 67% more likely to have a heart attack, stroke, heart failure, or cardiovascular death, and women had 85% higher odds compared to normal weight peers. Scary stuff, isn't it? That night, as I sat beside her hospital bed, staring at the walls and feeling my heart constrict in my chest, I felt angry and ashamed. Angry at the weight loss gurus that had promised the earth and delivered nothing but to drain our bank account, and ashamed that I hadn't been able to do more to help. I imagined life without Emily and the devastation it would cause to our family, our kids. It was at that very moment I vowed I'd do whatever it takes. I was determined to find a way to help her get healthy again. But right now, we needed a miracle. I couldn't face life without her, and I knew our kids would never be the same again if she died. We spent the night together praying as a family by her bedside. And that night, our prayers were answered. Emily made an incredible recovery. What happened next was the most bizarre and eye-opening moment of my life, but it set me on the path to discovering a potent Costa Rican tea hack that we needed, and you need too. It was while trawling for information through obscure scientific research forums online that I stumbled upon something that stopped me in my tracks. It was an article written by a Dr. Li Yan, a Chinese ex-government research scientist turned whistleblower. He claimed to have uncovered the real truth behind the cause of our modern-day obesity crisis and why so many people are dangerously overweight nowadays. His research was so shocking and controversial that when he tried to get it published, he was pulled in by the Chinese secret police and interrogated for 3 days straight. After making him destroy all the documents, he was told never to talk of it again. He decided the only way to protect his family was to pack up everything right away and escape to the West where he would be safer. From everything I could find out about him, he seemed extremely credible. Apparently, he has a large underground following and is very well respected in the scientific community. I had to speak to him, and after weeks of calls, emails, and research, I managed to track him down. And surprisingly, he was willing to talk to me and agreed to do a Zoom call. He sounded extremely intelligent and spoke perfect English. He asked me about myself and why I was so desperate to speak to him. I told him about Emily's health problems and what the doctors had said. She's tried everything to keep the weight off, but nothing seems to work. My eyes filled with tears, and then I broke down. I'm so scared we're going to lose her. I'm not sure if I could go on. Please, Dr. Yen, tell me what you discovered. Dr. Yen's face felt totally serious. He seemed hesitant at first. He could see I was in so much pain and that I'd pretty much given up all hope. He took a deep breath and told me something that chilled me to the bone. A shocking secret that he'd been forced to keep quiet about for years. What you have to understand is that it's not Emily's fault, he said. You know those massive corporations? The ones who sell you those healthy shakes, meals, diets, and exercise plans? They know full well that they can't work over the long term. All of the countless medical studies make this abundantly clear to anyone who is bothered to look, and I assure you, they have looked. You see, the whole industry is one giant fraud. Its only purpose is to separate you from your hard-earned money. They don't care that their solutions don't work. In fact, they don't want them to work, because that way they can keep selling you their stuff. I mean, you might lose some weight for a short time, but soon after, you'll pile it all back on again, plus a bit more. The average person spends over $120,000 during their lifetime trying to lose weight. And almost half of all Americans are considered obese. It's a multi-billion-dollar business that they will do anything to protect. I feel sick just imagining the multi-millionaire CEOs of those companies enjoying their riches at the expense of hard-working normal people like you and Emily. Because although it's hard to believe, you've been purposely lied to, because none of these solutions have any real influence on the long-term number on your scale. They don't address the real root cause. What is the real root cause, I asked. Dr. Yen paused for a second, stood up, and left the room. A few seconds later, he returned with a frying pan in his hand. This is, he said as he pointed to the frying pan. Huh? A frying pan, I asked? Well, yes and no. You see, what most people see as a harmless cooking instrument is actually teeming with microscopic toxic chemicals. And these are what's making us fat. Seriously, I said with a chuckle. Deadly, he answered without a hint of sarcasm. You see, this frying pan is manufactured using deadly chemicals now known as forever chemicals. And these chemicals actually cause you to store fat. Forever chemicals, or obesogens as they are otherwise known, are highly toxic chemicals used in the manufacture of thousands of products that we all use every day. But the worrying thing is that these toxic chemicals never break down in the environment, hence the name forever chemical, and actually accumulate over time in your body. And unfortunately, there is no way of getting away from them because they are in everything from the water we drink to clothes, shampoo, shower gel, pizza boxes, plastic bags, furniture, and yes, even the frying pan we cook our food on. In fact, scientists say that over 98% of Americans, and even newborn babies, now have these forever chemicals in their body and are only just now beginning to understand how harmful they can be. Forever chemicals, or obesogens, are chemicals that are endocrine or hormonal disruptors. In other words, They wreak havoc on your hormone health. That includes those hormones that control hunger and how many calories you consume get burned right away and how many are stored as fat. And like I said, these chemicals can be found everywhere nowadays. That's why it's impossible to avoid exposure. A shocking 2015 Canadian study found that when normal stem cells are exposed to obesogens, they actually mutate into fat cells. Another study in Japan confirmed this by showing cells which would normally become connective tissue became fat cells when obesogens were added. Dr. Yen held up his phone to show me a video. This is what happens when regular stem cells are exposed to obesogens. They turn into fat cells and expand instantly. Shocking, right? And that's what obesogens that are found in frying pans and all around us are doing to your body all day long. That's why it's so hard to lose weight no matter what you try. And it's the reason that keeping the pounds off long term is almost impossible. Now, there are many types of obesogens, of which bisphenol A or BPA is one of the most widely known. It can be found in thousands of different types of products, from kids' toys, clothing, cosmetics like body wash, shampoo, and toothpaste, all the way up to food packaging, canned goods, and even baby bottles. A team from the Department of Neuroscience in Ontario found that when they fed mice low doses of BPA, far lower than the amounts considered to be safe by the FDA, their hormones started freaking out and they quickly ballooned in size. Some countries have even taken the step of banning BPA in anything that comes in contact with food. But the chemicals they have replaced it with are arguably worse. And countless studies have directly linked these obesogenic chemicals to excessive ghrelin, leptin, hunger, and obesity, regardless of age, diet, metabolism, or even activity level. So your hunger pangs and weight gain has been scientifically proven to be unstoppable because of these man-made chemicals that are floating throughout your body, wreaking havoc with your hormones and causing normal cells to turn into expanded fat cells. How come everyone isn't getting fat at the same time from these obesogens, I asked. He explained that our bodies all react slightly differently to different hormones, with some lucky people who are just genetically predisposed to not suffer the same imbalance as the rest of us. But they are the exception, and definitely not in the majority. Just consider the following, he said. He held up an open book to the camera showing a graph. This graph shows the rise in obesity rates over the years. As you can see, obesity was pretty much non-existent before the 1950s. But fast forward to today, 72% of us are seriously overweight. Now look at this. The blue line shows the rise in synthetic chemical production over the years, and the red one, the rates of diabetes. Notice how they match almost exactly. But what I was told next by Dr. Yen was even more shocking. He had taken all his data that proved conclusively that it was chemical obesogens that were to blame for this massive crisis and showed it to the head of his department. The very next day, he was hauled in by the Chinese secret police and interrogated for 3 days straight. And when he was eventually released, he was ordered to destroy all his research and never speak of it again. They told him that if any of the findings were leaked, there would be serious consequences for him and his family. He was absolutely terrified and decided that there was no other choice but to flee that very day and go into hiding. I asked him why they were so desperate to bury his research. He went on to explain that China is the largest producer of chemicals and plastics in the world by a very large margin. So the Chinese government were terrified of a global backlash if the effects were exposed, because if this information became widespread, it could wreak havoc on these huge corporations and the Chinese economy. So instead of risking that, they decided to bury it. It finally all made perfect sense. The out-of-control obesity crisis really wasn't being caused by the junk food and lazy lifestyles like we are constantly being told. It's caused by exposure to forever chemicals, which results in obesity even if you are starving yourself and exercising religiously. You see, these dangerous foreign compounds are floating through your veins right now and are the real root cause of your unexplained belly fat and accelerated aging. Even very small doses of these forever chemicals not only cause obesity, but have also been linked to an increased risk of cancer, diabetes, liver problems, high cholesterol, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and heart disease, making it virtually impossible for us to lose the weight and keep it off no matter what we do and no matter how hard we try. Exactly what was happening with Emily. There has been a bit of exposure in the media, Dr. Yen continued, but the big corporations do their utmost to bury it and censor it for their own selfish reasons, so people really have no idea how bad this crisis really is. Surely they wouldn't do that, I said skeptically, but what Dr. Yen told me next shocked me to the core. In 1988, a man named Wilbur Tennant, a resident of Parkersburg, West Virginia, became neighbors with a chemical megacorporation after he decided to sell 66 acres of his farm to them for use as a landfill. Shortly after, Tennant began noticing a variety of bizarre and severe health problems in his cattle, which began acting deranged and their eyes sunken in and bloodshot. Cows had massive patches of skin missing, huge humps in their backs, massively overweight and blackened teeth. Even their internal organs were discolored. A veteran cattle farmer who knew cows inside and out, Wilbur realized that something was terribly wrong and that there was no normal explanation for the conditions they were stricken with. Now, this chemical company was one of the biggest manufacturers in the world, responsible for inventing things such as Lycra, Teflon, Kevlar, and even nylon. So when Wilbur went to them with his findings, they simply brushed him off and denied everything. It wasn't until lawyers offered to take up Wilbur's case for free, and after a long legal battle, that they were found guilty of using C8, a toxic forever chemical in their products, even though they knew it was dangerous to humans and causes weight gain and chronic illness. Wilbur's litigation efforts yielded more than $671 million in damages for the people affected. And they're just the tip of the iceberg, because thousands upon thousands of companies still use these health-devastating forever chemicals in their manufacturing process every single day. I slumped in my chair. So there really is nothing that can be done about it. Dr. Yen paused for a second. Look, you seem like a good man, and I can see you are really hurting. So I'm going to let you in on a secret. He pulled out a pen and started writing something on a notepad in front of him. This is the answer to your problems, he said with a wink. He held up the pad to the camera so I could see what he wrote, and told me to take a screenshot of it. You see, while I was carrying out my research, I stumbled across a little-known tropical paradise called Nicoya in Costa Rica, whose people didn't seem to be affected by obesogens like everyone else, because even though they were exposed to the same levels of forever chemicals, they were among the slimmest, fittest, and healthiest people I'd ever come across. In fact, Nicoya is one of only 5 places in the world to be classed as a blue zone due to their exceptionally long life expectancy, low levels of chronic disease such as diabetes, and exceptionally high overall quality of life. It's often said that Nicoya is the place where people forget to die. When we studied them to find out what their secret could be, it seemed to lay in a traditional blend of tea that they drank each morning. A recipe passed down from generation to generation, containing a mix of herbs and spices that locals said had magical healing properties. And this was somehow detoxifying and protecting them from the effects of man-made forever chemicals. This is a full list of the herbs and spices the tea contains. If you search online, you should be able to source them. But I warn you, it's unlikely you'll find them locally, so they won't be cheap. Just mix the quantities I gave you and have your wife take a pinch of it every morning with her regular tea. You're going to be amazed at the results. Now, I have to go. I need to be careful not to be online for too long or they might track me down. I thanked him, and the second he logged out, I started researching his recipe. I was very surprised at what I found. First, there was Gymnema sylvester, a miraculous woody climbing shrub that's native to the tropical forests of Nicoya. It has been used by medicine men for thousands of years because of its amazing antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. But most importantly, a 2014 study published by the Global Health Committee assessed the effectiveness of Gymnema sylvester in detoxifying the body of foreign toxins. Why is this important, you might ask? Well, remember those forever chemicals that release obesogens causing massive weight gain? Scientists in Norway discovered that large spikes of obesogens are excreted with every one of these foreign chemical invasions. And remember, forever chemicals are now in literally everything. It's almost certain that there is a high level of exposure in just about all species of animal on the planet. So how do obesogens actually affect us, and what exactly do they have to do with weight loss? A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Medicine of 38,000 overweight men and women aged 30 to 60 found one common factor that made it almost impossible to lose fat: high obesogen levels. All those with lower obesogen levels could eat the same amount per day as the ones with the high levels and stay stick thin. They also had a healthier heart, liver, brain, and consistent energy levels. Many doctors actually call it the fat storage chemical, and after more reading, I could see why. Another study published in The Lancet tested increased obesogen levels in mice. Both groups were fed exactly the same diet, and in just 2 weeks, the high obesogen level mice had put on 30% in weight, while the low obesogen group actually lost weight. Lowering obesogen levels in the body is actually an immediate fat shrinker, making it run like a tuned Ferrari, burning away fat stores and converting it into natural energy. And even though obesogens are tiny chemicals, their effects on the body can be devastating. Even a small increase in obesogen levels can put you in a state of huge weight gain in a very short period. Likewise, removing them from your body can quickly reverse the process in no time at all, burning calories faster than you can eat them and dropping that ugly belly fat week after week, with no rebounding or side effects until you reach your ideal weight. 98% of adults have now been exposed to chronic levels of forever chemicals, causing elevated levels of obesogens in their body. And the older you are, the higher they get, and the heavier you become. You see, your high obesogen levels are the real root cause of your unexplained weight gain, accelerated aging, fatigue, and health problems. But don't start booking a trip to the tropical islands for some Gymnema sylvester just yet. Because next on Dr. Yen's list was banaba. Banaba is a tree native to tropical Southeast Asia. Its leaves have been used to treat diabetes in folk medicine for centuries. In addition to their anti-diabetic properties, banaba leaves offer health benefits such as antioxidant, cholesterol lowering, and anti-obesity effects. It's so rare that during a wet season, it sometimes trades for upwards of $2,000 a gram. But although it's expensive, the benefits are huge. A study published by the European Medical Council shows that banaba massively reduces obesogens in the bloodstream as well. Can you imagine the results combining Gymnema sylvester and banaba together? But that's not all, because next on the list was Googaloo gum resin that the University of Health in Oxford found reverses damage from obesogens too. Along with its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, Googaloo has also been used to promote weight loss, treat hypothyroidism, and manage cholesterol and blood sugar levels. One study also found it improved skin complexion, leaving users with a youthful, radiant glow and reduced acne. Next, white mulberry, notable for its long leaves, petalless flowers, and small berries that Korean scientists have found, yes, you've guessed it, reduce obesogen levels in the body too. It's even been reported in studies to block cancer cell growth and lower your blood sugar and cholesterol levels, and was recently featured on Dr. Oz as a natural diabetes remedy. Finally, yarrow, used by ancient Greeks as a powerful wound healer and antioxidant that can rapidly destroy fat-causing obesogens. It's also fantastic for digestive issues, reducing bloating, and even has been shown to alleviate depression and anxiety. Studies show that taking yarrow daily resulted in up to 10 pounds of weight loss in just 2 weeks, and even helped with brain disorders such as Alzheimer's. I was so excited. I wanted to get started with this powerful, life-changing recipe straight away. I felt like I'd struck gold, but there was only one problem. I didn't know where to source the high-quality tropical herbs, and more importantly, test them to make sure they were 100% pure for maximum potency. I spent many weeks and searched high and low, but in the end, I had to admit it was too much for me alone. I needed a team. I remembered Dr. Yen had mentioned a Stanford-educated anti-aging and herb endocrine specialist he'd worked with in the past, Professor Thomas. So I called and explained everything. He listened intently as I told him about Dr. Yen's research and what I had found out for myself too. "William," he said, "that's amazing. I can help you for sure. In fact, I have a full team of the best doctors and health experts under my supervision that can assist too. Your research is 100% correct," he said. "Not all people are fat. Everyone knows that one annoyingly slim friend or family member that can eat whatever they want and never gain an ounce. Yet when you so much as look at a piece of food, you gain 5 pounds. In fact, there is no secret. These studies prove that some people have had more exposure to forever chemicals than others, and thus higher levels of obesogens in their body, causing rapid weight gain. And by 30, pretty much all adults have built up dangerous levels. Remember when you were younger and you could eat whatever you wanted without gaining a pound? Yet as you got older, that all changed? That's why. Higher obesogen levels are also linked to many deadly health conditions, like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even cancer, killing millions every year. "I want to check Emily's obesogen levels," said the professor, "just to verify what we have found." And a few days later, we received the results. "Your obesogen levels are extremely high," said Professor Thomas. "In fact, your endocrine system has been completely disrupted by these forever chemicals. It's no wonder you haven't been able to lose any weight no matter what you have tried. But I'm 100% sure we can fix this after seeing Dr. Yen's recipe and the peer-reviewed studies by top universities," he said. Over the next few weeks, Professor Thomas and his team sourced every ingredient on the list, tested and verified with third-party labs to be safe and of the highest purity. The team even suggested a few more safe natural ingredients that would work in synergy for an even more potent boost. First recommended by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tan from Singapore was Mamortica carrantia, also known as bitter melon. Although nothing like normal melon, as it contains powerful antioxidant compounds that help protect your cells against damage. One study from the Institute of Medical Health in Australia found that one daily dose of bitter melon can help reduce blood sugar, decrease cholesterol levels, and may even destroy cancer cells. Bitter melon is also full of gallic and chlorogenic acid, which studies from University of Ottawa and the World Health Organization show decreases obesogens and fights obesity. The second recommended by Professor Thomas was vanadium, a mineral named for the Norse goddess of beauty, Vanitas. Researchers from the Geneva Institute of Medicine in Switzerland found that just 0.1 milligram per day could flush out dangerous cholesterol and support a healthy heart and blood sugar levels. That's why the professor decided to add 0.2 milligrams of vanadium, double the dose, for maximum effect. And lastly, number 3, alpha-lipoic acid, a naturally occurring formidable antioxidant recommended by Dr. Yin from Japan. He told the professor about a little-known study from Italy that found alpha-lipoic acid also eliminates deadly obesogens. It also reduces bad cholesterol by an average of 22% and helps treat diabetes. Best of all, it also rejuvenates and repairs old cells. Pretty amazing, right? Professor Thomas and his team spent almost a full year testing, analyzing, and reformulating our obesogen-busting magical superfoods. He explained the reason Dr. Yen's recipe was so powerful is because it activated something called the super-synergistic effect. A super-synergistic effect occurs when 2 or more herbs are combined at the correct ratios to produce a much greater effect, sometimes up to 100 times greater than if they had been taken separately. And that's exactly what happens when Dr. Yen's recipe is combined with the polyphenols in your morning tea, and the reason why the inhabitants on Nicoya are immune to the effects of obesogens. Taken at the right time of day, this super potent fat-melting mix will hunt down and destroy the obesogens in the body that are keeping you fat, helping to repair and heal the damage that has been caused by decades of forever chemical exposure. His team sourced bulk orders of each ingredient from licensed and trusted suppliers from Nicoya and around the world to secure the very best prices. Finally, he found a state-of-the-art natural health supplement manufacturer to produce it for us into a once-per-day, easy-to-swallow capsule. As soon as the first batch arrived, Emily took her first dose with her morning tea. The results? Well, they were more than spectacular. In just 3 days, she had higher energy, better mood, and felt an increased zest for life. And by the end of the first week, she'd lost over 5 pounds. She hadn't made a single change to her lifestyle, didn't do any exercise, didn't change her diet, still eating all the delicious foods like pizza and cookies she loved so much. How was this possible? Maybe it was the placebo effect, I rationalized, and she was going to regain the lost weight quickly. Yet by the end of the second week, she dropped another 7 pounds. Every day she would wake up and another 1 to 2 pounds had dropped off of her at an incredible speed. I was actually worried she was losing weight too fast, but Professor Thomas assured me that it was perfectly fine. And in a matter of weeks, she'd go on to lose an incredible 67 pounds of stubborn fat from her face, belly, arms, hips, and thighs, going from this to this amazing lady I'm proud to call my wife. The Emily I knew and loved was back. Every morning she told me how refreshed she felt. The aches and pains were gone and she felt alert and alive. Her face looked younger and more radiant than it had in at least a decade, and the excess belly, arm, legs, and hip fat that had plagued her for so long had gone. Her body looked like she was 21 again, and people noticed. She was showered with compliments from friends and family, and instead of wanting to hide away from the world, she felt confident to show off her new slim and toned body. And not only did Emily love her new slim-toned body, but she loved mine too, because I used this simple hack on myself to drop 8 inches from my waist and reveal the abs again I hadn't seen in years, while still enjoying my favorite beers and food. It's like being high school sweethearts all over again. We can barely keep our hands off each other, revitalizing our lives and bringing that spark back to our marriage that had been sorely missing. It all seems so simple now, after years of struggle, failure, and lies from weight loss gurus. Just one dose with our morning tea has completely changed our lives. When Professor Thomas saw us again, he was astonished at our transformations. In fact, he barely recognized Emily. "You look amazing," he said. "And what's even better is your blood markers are all now within normal ranges. You've lost over 60 pounds since we last met. That's about 6 dress sizes, and your blood pressure and cholesterol levels are that of a 21-year-old, and your resting heart rate is only 55, similar to that of a professional athlete. Best of all, your test results show that your obesogen levels have reduced by 98%. And that's why your health and weight have made such extraordinary reversals. Imagine how you will feel when your results are the same." After so many years of despair, we both felt like our lives were starting again. I was convinced it was a miracle. God had blessed us by revealing the most amazing health formula ever. I wanted to share it with the world. But Professor Thomas said we needed more proof that it would work for every overweight man and woman the same way it had worked for Emily and me. He organized a clinical study of 2,167 men and women from 18 to 80, ranging from 30 pounds to 250 pounds overweight. Each participant was given several months' worth of our product and told to take it each morning with a cup of tea. The results came in thick and fast, and were more incredible than any of us could have ever imagined. Every single participant had amazing results, and their cravings vanished. The average weight lost in the group was 48 pounds, and 95% lost at least 24 pounds. Most experienced increased energy, a reduction in aches and pains, lower stress levels, better mood, enhanced sex drive and performance, greatly improved blood sugar, lower blood pressure, and improved cardiovascular health. Several of them could even see their abs for the first time ever. The formula had actually worked on everyone, regardless of how much they had to lose, their metabolism, their genetics, and their previous failed attempts at trying to lose weight. In fact, the best results seemed to be for those who struggled the most in the past because many months later the weight stayed off. Most of the participants described our product as life-changing. They felt complete freedom for the first time in decades and were able to eat whatever they wanted without worries for the first time in their lives.
The results were astounding. I've lost 6 pounds in just a week.
I have dropped 3 dress sizes so far, and my flabby arms and my double chin have disappeared too.
My dress size is down and my confidence is up. Last week, I splashed out and got myself a whole new wardrobe. Clothes that actually fit me, not those hanging baggy ones to hide my curves.
I have tried every diet under the sun. Keto, paleo, intermittent fasting. Nothing seemed to work for me until this.
I keep catching my husband checking me out and I feel absolutely fantastic.
I thought I'd seen everything, but it's like these tropical plants are working magic. I have dropped 3 dress sizes so far, and my flabby arms and my double chin have disappeared too.
Late night snacking, that was my weakness. I'd often find myself reaching for leftovers or ordering takeout in the middle of the night. I just knew this habit was ruining my progress, so I gave the trial a go. The results were astounding. I've lost 6 pounds in just a week, and all my junk food cravings went away just like that.
Here, we had a natural, clinically proven treatment for addressing even the worst cases of uncontrolled belly fat. It contains no harmful chemicals, doesn't require a prescription, and works automatically. Not only for Emily, but for me, our friends and family, the inhabitants of Nicoya, and now I knew it would work for everyone else too. That's why I'm sharing this incredible discovery with you here today. I want you to be our next amazing success story. And one day, hopefully, we'll be able to turn this powerful natural remedy into the standard treatment for obesity, instead of all those harmful, ineffective medications that are being overprescribed daily and countless exercise and nutrition plans that just don't work. I figure that to make people sit up and take notice, I'll need to get as many life-changing stories as possible. Your success is my only weapon against big pharma companies who are undoubtedly going to try to stop us, because they can't patent any of the natural ingredients in this formula, so trying to replicate it doesn't make any sense. It would end up costing them billions in lost profits they make by treating the symptoms and consequences rather than the root cause. We are an absolute nightmare for them. I know that they are going to do whatever they can to shut us down, blocking us from getting into the pharmacies and health food shops. That's why we've decided not to delay another day and make the formula available on this site right now. Because today, I'm excited to introduce Nicoya Purity. It's the most powerful and effective natural weight loss supplement in the world. The first ever all-natural treatment that targets the actual root cause of excess belly fat and accelerated aging from forever chemicals and obesogen exposure. In fact, we're so confident that it's going to be a game changer that we took our whole life savings and found a highly reputable natural health supplement manufacturer to mass produce it for us. They are both GMP certified and FDA registered, and everything is made here in the US to guarantee the highest possible levels of purity, potency, and safety. We source the best quality ingredients and plant extracts and manage to formulate them into a simple, easy-to-swallow capsule you take with your morning tea. And we ship it straight to your door. Nicoya Purity is non-GMO and doesn't contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins. Because let's be honest, you should never take risks when it comes to your health, and that's why we won't cut any corners. Losing weight with Nicoya Purity is so simple and much more effective than any exercise or diet plan being pushed by the so-called fitness experts and nutritionists. Imagine never having to endure the pain and frustrations of yo-yo dieting and depriving yourself of your favorite foods again. Imagine how it's going to feel when your friends are green with envy at your incredible body transformation, begging you for your secret. Just imagine it for a second. Truly let yourself feel what that would be like. How much would that be worth? $10,000? $100,000? $1 million? It is, of course, not something that you can put a price tag on, because the results are priceless. But trust me, I am not in this to make money. I truly want to help as many people as possible, God willing. But for this formula to work, the ingredients need to be of the highest quality. So to keep the price low and to be able to cover my costs, as well as getting this message out to as many people and as quickly as possible, I'm willing to let you have it today at the lowest price possible. So you're not going to need to pay anything like $10,000. You won't even have to pay the $600 that a business consultant suggested was fair, or even half of that. The amount I charge for 1 month's supply of Nicoya Pure Tea is just $297. But instead of you paying that amount today, I'm going to do something that's somewhat risky. You see, although $297 is more than a fair price, especially when you consider that many customers have told us that without all those cravings, they are saving more than that alone in food costs every month. But I know the fear, pain, and helplessness of watching your loved ones gain pound after pound and not being able to do anything to help. And that's something I don't want others to experience. You see, the last thing I want is for anyone else to needlessly suffer like Emily did for so long, just for the reason of not being able to afford this solution. So I'm not going to ask you for $297. I'm not even going to ask you for half that. Today, I'm going to give you a full 30-day supply of Nicoya Pure Tea for a simple one-time fee of only $59. Yep, that's right, just $59. That's a whopping 80% off. But before you secure your supply, I need to make something very clear. To see the best health-changing benefits and maximum weight loss results, you're going to want to take Nicoya Pure Tea for at least 90 days straight. That's because after so many years of your body being overloaded with obesogens, it will need enough time to properly adjust, fight the inflammation, and rebalance your hormones. And because I can't promise how long I'll be able to keep it at today's price, I would hate when you come back to order your next 30-day supply, you'll find that either the price has gone up, or even worse, that the big corporations have somehow managed to close me down. So I strongly suggest that you secure enough to last you 90 days at the very least. And if you're smart and order a 3 or 6 month supply, I'm also going to give you 2 incredible bonus ebooks with a combined worth of $95 absolutely free. Bonus number 1, the complete anti-aging formula. Kickstart your weight loss journey and reverse the aging process with our actionable blueprint for youthful skin, mind, and body. With 15 extraordinary anti-aging smoothie recipes using everyday ingredients from your kitchen. Plus, discover the must-have skincare product some call the elixir of youth that has been scientifically proven to reduce wrinkles, improve complexion, and reverse the signs of aging in a matter of days. An odd but highly effective alcohol antioxidant trick. A special tea that helps reverse DNA damage from the sun and combats several signs of aging. And the number one thing you must avoid like the plague if you want to regain your youthful looks, and a whole lot more. Next, bonus number 2, unshakable confidence. With your new body comes a new mentality. In this book, we reveal a simple 10-second technique to give you complete confidence, even in a room full of strangers. One simple trick that you can do right now to feel at ease in business, romance, or any other area of your life. Plus, an easy-to-learn daily technique to fill your mind with positive thoughts and feelings and remove any self-doubt and negativity instantly. Even a way to enhance your performance and take your life to a whole new level. All that and more. I promise you're going to love these incredible free bonuses. And what's more, if you decide to order 6 bottles today, our most recommended package, you're not only going to get the bonuses, I'm also going to drop the price even further for you and throw in free shipping for good measure. the prices you see now are not guaranteed beyond tonight. The last thing I want is for you to come back in a few hours and see higher prices, or worse, an out-of-stock sign. This is why 94% of people order 6 bottles at a time, so they can secure the best savings for themselves and their close friends and family and start dissolving fat as they sleep right away. I hate to say this, but the clock is ticking. It's going to be very costly to fight the big corporations. So you'll need to act now to guarantee you won't be paying more, which makes this one of the easiest decisions of your life. But again, I urge you to act now to secure your supply with this deal. Nicoya Pura Tea is so effective that word is starting to spread extremely fast. Men and women all across the world are now discovering this amazing formula for themselves, and most are ordering a long-term supply just in case. Not just losing fat in the short term, but keeping it off for good, detoxifying their system, and returning their body to its former glory. It's incredibly satisfying for me to receive so many thank you letters and before and after pictures. And that's why demand is looking like it could start to outpace supply. The high-quality ingredients are not easy to source, so stock could run out with very little notice. And when it does, it could be 6 months or even longer before we're able to get more. I would hate for that to happen to you, because once you finally start to shed that unwanted body fat and reveal the sexy figure that lies underneath, the last thing you want to see when you come back to this site is an out-of-stock message. I promise it's a risk not worth taking, so make sure you secure enough today so that you don't have to worry. As soon as you place your order, we'll get your supply in the mail immediately. You'll be able to start right away. Simply take 1 serving of Nicoya Pura Tea with a cup of tea every morning and watch as your body transforms before your eyes. Your clothes will feel looser after the first week. You will feel lighter than before, and your midsection will have already started to look smaller. Energy levels will return, and those aches and pains will soon be a thing of the past. Your friends and family will wonder what in the world you've been doing to achieve such an incredible transformation. And that's why this is one of the easiest decisions of your life. Right now, while you are on this page, Nicoya Pura Tea has been reserved for you. But if you leave, someone else will be given your quota. So it's imperative that you act now to secure your order. Below this video, you'll see 3 incredible money-saving options. Just select your package and proceed to our 256-bit, 100% secure order page that looks exactly like this. If you leave this page without securing your order, I can't promise you'll see this opportunity again. So do the right thing for yourself and your loved ones and choose your package below this video right now. And don't worry, this is a one-time payment with no subscriptions or hidden charges. I dislike those things as much as you do. But to avoid disappointment, you're going to need to act fast. Click below to secure your package. Don't let the low price today fool you. Nicoya Pura Tea is extremely powerful, and I'm convinced it will work for you as it has for the 135,790 others who have tried it. But I get if you're a little skeptical. I completely understand. I was too at first. After all, we've been lied to and manipulated our entire lives into believing that diet and exercise are the only paths to losing weight. Because of course, the billion-dollar weight loss industry will never tell you that there's a quick, easy, and natural way to burn belly fat and curb hunger. So here's what I'm going to do for you. To prove how confident I am that this formula will work for you, and so you have absolutely no risk, I'm prepared to back your order with a 100% satisfaction guarantee that works like this. If within 90 days you are unhappy with your results, I'll give you every cent of your money back. That's right. Send me an email and I'll pay you every cent back, no questions asked, even if the bottle is completely empty. I'll even let you keep the 2 bonus books worth $95 as a big thank you for giving Nicoya Pura Tea a try. All you have to do to secure your discount and take advantage of this amazing risk-free deal is choose your package below right now and take back control over your body to become the new you. It has already helped 135,790 ordinary people to transform their waist size, energy levels, health, and lives.
Nicoya Pura Tea has given me my life back.
Stepping on the scales is so enjoyable now. I look forward to it each morning.
I feel 20 years younger. I advise everyone I meet to give it a try. You won't regret it.
I'd lost more weight than with any diet program I've been on before. And after 3 months, well, I don't even recognize myself when I look at myself in the mirror. My unsightly lumps and bumps have all but disappeared, and I actually feel confident looking at myself in the mirror for the first time since my teens.
After losing 45 pounds, I finally feel confident in a swimsuit again, and it feels fantastic. My friends and family just can't believe how much I've changed both physically and emotionally. They all want to know my secret, and of course, I'm super happy to tell them my secret.
If you still haven't taken action yet, then you might not know it right now, but you are at an important crossroads in your life. You can choose to go down 2 very different paths. One that leads to a lifetime of energy and passion where you'll love your new body and turn heads wherever you go, feeling proud when you look in the mirror, and where you no longer suffer complicated diets, rigorous exercise programs, or unnecessary health complications. The other, you can continue down the same old path you have always been on. So listen closely to your options so that you can make the choice that's right for you. Option number 1. Choose to do exactly what the mainstream health industry wants. Keep on dieting, exercising, and perhaps losing a bit of weight just to regain the lost pounds shortly after. If you go for this option, keep in mind that you'll never be able to just eat what you want, and you'll most probably never break free of the cycle of yo-yo dieting and endless amounts of frustration and self-doubt. That's the way the weight loss industry is set up. They don't want you to reach your goals because that way you'll keep spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on their expensive products. I bet you already know the outcome of taking this option because you've experienced it many times before. That feeling of hopelessness, of being trapped in a body you hate, of feeling guilty because you're not grinding away hour upon hour every week in the gym, wondering why it's so hard for you to obtain, and most importantly, maintain that slim and sexy figure. That feeling of getting heavier and more exhausted week after week, wondering why you've lost that youthful body and zest for life. I know you don't want that. The average American spends $120,000 over their lifetime in an attempt to lose weight, and that's just the financial cost. The terrible impact on confidence, energy levels, health, and relationships is even worse. So would you truly want to take such a risk just to save a few dollars? Because the truth is, if you've made it this far through my message, I know you're sick of being a prisoner to your unwanted stomach and body fat, of pretending you're okay with how you are right now, even though you know that you're not, yearning for that slender figure of your youth. And the reality is that it may even get worse if you don't take action right now. Your arms and legs could expand even more until you can't wear your favorite blouse or pants. Nobody has the right to judge someone else, but the reality is, this is the world we live in. Comments like, "Wow, you've really let yourself go," and snide remarks about your weight cut deep. It can suck the soul from you as quickly as the weight is piled on. I know. I saw it happen with Emily, which is why I urge you to take a second and seriously consider choosing option number 2. Because let's face it, This is the only real option you have. All you have to do is invest a one-time payment in Nicoya Pure Tea today and put the formula to a risk-free test for 90 days. Just imagine what you'll look like in just a few weeks from now. You'll be standing in front of your mirror with a tape measure in your hands and a smile on your face that won't disappear. Your stomach, arms, and hips so lean, you'll think it's not your body. You'll have to pinch yourself to prove it's really you. Imagine how good that will feel. No more shame or guilt over another failed exercise or diet plan. No more worrying about following bland and boring diets or waving your favorite foods goodbye. No more low energy levels that zap you of your zest for life and hurt your relationships with the people that you care about the most. No more feeling disgusted about what your partner thinks of you or your expanded midsection when you look in the mirror. And no more counting calories or trying useless fads. You've already gone through almost this entire message, so it's clear you're serious about getting into the best shape and health of your life. But the decision is yours. Now, we're being honest and open with each other, and I don't want you to miss out. So if you want to opt for the smart decision, click a package below to place your order. Once again, the shipping today is totally free for all 6-bottle orders, and you won't be enrolled in an automatic billing subscription or anything similar. Also, remember that you're covered by our 90-day money-back guarantee. So even if you're not thrilled with your new slim and sexy figure after you finish your supply, simply let us know for a full and immediate refund. That's why there is no risk here, and there is no way you can go wrong. So if you want to get that slim and slender figure that catches eyes wherever you go, that turns your friends green with envy, then I urge you to select your package by clicking a Buy Now button below before supplies run out. I can't wait to hear about your success. Still here? You probably have some questions. That's totally understandable. These are some of the most common ones our customers ask. How does Nicoya Pure Tea work? Great question. The 7 clinically proven ingredients in Pure Tea work together with your morning tea to create a super synergistic antioxidant effect, much stronger than if each ingredient was taken alone. This powerful antioxidant formula quickly and effectively starts to detox your body of the deadly fat-causing obesogens that enter our body daily, causing hormonal disruption and devastating weight gain. What kind of results can I expect from Nicoya Pure Tea? I like to categorize the results into 3 stages. First, you'll feel much better overall. Increased energy, clearer thoughts, reduced inflammation, fewer aches and pains, and better sleep. Think back a decade or 2. That's how you'll feel again. Second, you'll look better. Your skin and face will look brighter and healthier. Your fine lines and wrinkles will start to vanish. Finally, Nicoya Pure Tea will help you get rid of that excess body fat and keep it off. I'm positive this formula is the secret to a slim and sexy figure for everybody. Your current situation doesn't matter. Whether you have 10, 50, or more than 100 pounds to lose is irrelevant. How long will it take to see results? Everybody is different, and that's why the time it takes to get results varies. What I can tell you is that most people notice their clothes feel looser after just the first week. Their belly also starts to look smaller, and they begin to feel lighter. And the longer you use Nicoya Pure Tea, the better your results tend to become. In most cases, friends and family will start to beg you for your secret before just 60 days. How can something so powerful be safe? What are the side effects? Nicoya Pure Tea is an all-natural formula that contains only pharmaceutical-grade ingredients that are completely safe. We've not experienced a single negative side effect yet after having tens of thousands of people taking it. And to ensure the highest quality and safety standards, everything is manufactured here in the United States. In other words, you can rest assured that what you're getting is fully compliant with GMP safety standards. How do I take Nicoya Purity? Simply take 2 capsules every day with your morning tea. That's all there is to it. With that, you'll get a powerful dose of all the potent fat-burning nutrients for the rest of the day. I know Nicoya Purity is backed by science, but are you sure it'll work for me? Nicoya Purity contains ingredients that are proven to work regardless of whether you're 20, 40, or 80, and no matter your weight or background. So yes, I'm 100% sure this will work for you. That's why I'm letting you try this breakthrough formula completely risk-free. It's simple. If within 90 days you are not totally thrilled with your results, let me know and you'll receive every invested penny back, even if the bottle is empty. That's why it's a no-brainer. You simply have nothing to lose except for unwanted body fat. Doesn't that sound fair? So go ahead and experience these amazing results for yourself. Don't delay. Click on the best money-saving package below to get started. And remember, your order is 100% guaranteed and the lowest price that you will ever see. And the more you buy, the more you save. Professor Thomas, myself, and the entire team can't wait to hear about your success story next. Once again, I'm William Shaw, and thanks for watching.